Hi, Alison, and welcome to the SlideHub Q1 2026 product webinar. So, with you here from Copenhagen, we have me, Anders, and Rune, and we're looking forward to go through that was the right screen. We're looking forward to go through all of the product updates that has happened here in Q1. And as well talk a bit about what we have planned for Q2. So today we are me and Rune, who are your hosts. So we will be looking after the chat that you'll find on the right side. You can ask questions in the chat, and if you like the questions to be anonymously, you can also use the question instead. We're going to record the webinar so that in the case one of your colleagues would also like to see it, you can share the link afterwards and they can also get access to the webinar and rewatch it. We have a Q&A session in the end, so we are going a bit over the 45 minutes just to make sure that we take all of the questions that you might have. And we are running a few polls, and I thought just to get you used to how it works, I'm gonna run the first one right now. There's a lot of tools at play at the moment for doing AI assistance. You're probably familiar with ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, Gemini, and a lot of the other ones. We were actually kind of curious for which one people are using the most. So we are doing a little bit of a test of the market and seeing what is actually going on. Put in your votes. While you're doing that, our main speaker is Anders, and he's a grown-up man, so I'll let him introduce himself.
Thank you, Christian. I think I'm actually just turned 40, so I think I definitely passed the milestone of being grown up. I'm also one of the three co-founders of SlideHub. Like quite a lot of you, I have a consulting background, also spent a bit of time in private equity, and then I'm a lifelong nerd, so basically been programming and putting computers together, as far back as I can remember. Currently, I'm working on a lot of AI-related stuff with AI presentations and so building out our API universe. And I'm based in Copenhagen along with Christian and Rune. If you want to follow along on the SlideHub journey, besides these webinars, I also do like a weekly post on LinkedIn, sharing like some of the ups and downs of building SlideHub for the last 10 years. So it's actually, as of May 1st, we've been doing this for 10 years. So time flies. All right.
Yeah, for sure. Let me just go in here. So we have the result coming in. I'm just going to bring it into the screen here. So we can see that right now we actually have ChatGPT in the lead and Claude just behind. I had actually thought that Claude would just be completely in front here because that's kind of like my go-to ChatGPT assistant. What is your what were your thoughts on us? Which one were you thinking you would see the most?
I'm also a big Claude fan at this point, so I would also kind of expect that to have been a close contender, if not the number one spot. But I mean, you just referred to it as a ChatGPT assistant, so I guess the branding impact of ChatGPT still has a lot of saying or pulls a lot of weight. So cool to see. Also cool to see some internal tools in there. I think that we're having a lot of dialogues with different clients who's building out their own tools and putting together some various cool ways of building AI tools for their colleagues. So cool to see that as well.
Yeah. So we have a lot planned. The first thing we're going to do is just do a quick recap of SlideHub. Then I think we have 8 or 10 new features that we want to tell you about that is already live in the product that we have developed here in Q1. And then we will show you some of the new stuff as well as the full roadmap for Q2. Let's just get started. Anders, will you just take it from here?
I will. Thanks so much, Christian. So For those of you who are new to SlideHub, a really quick recap. So you can think of SlideHub as an AI-powered presentation and document management system. On a high level, it has two core components. It has a end-user facing part, where our core focus is to make things as simple as humanly possible. PowerPoint and the other tools already have a lot of buttons and functionality to kind of like navigate. So our ambition is to try to keep it as simple as possible and as quick to learn on the end user side. But then on the manager side, on the people who maintains like the library and SlideHub and so forth, the focus is to make SlideHub easy to customize and to build different tools that can help these managers give the best possible experience for the end users, whether this is making it easy to update, to make sure things are always up to date, or by tracking the usage and figuring out what is actually being used, what is not being used, what are people searching for, they're not finding, and so on. So that's on a really high level. The role AI plays sort of in SlideHub is, again, a little bit dependent on what kind of user you're looking at. For the managers, it's a matter of making it a lot easier to govern a large library. And then for the end users, it's a matter of making it even more easy to use the platform by using AI for slide generation and other cool stuff that we'll show more today. That's a really quick recap of SlideHub. All right, so in terms of what's new here in Q1, we have quite a few different things that we wanna present. The first one we want to show was something we also presented in the past, but something where we've spent a lot of time enhancing and improving the experience, and that is our what we call our text to slide feature. It's sort of the SlideHub take on generating slides with AI. The idea is to use the already approved templates and brains and icons and all the things that's in SlideHub, and then building new slides sort of on top of that. In this quarter, we spent a lot of time improving the user interface and the user experience. So I'm just going to show you a quick demo of how some of those changes look like.
All right. For this demonstration, I'm going to use our Acme Logistic test account. Acme Logistic is a made-up company that we built for demo purposes. It's a proud and large operator in the logistics space. On this account, I have a text-to-slide enabled. So what I'll show you now is some of the experience and comment a bit on some of the changes we made over the last quarter. So the idea now is that you just start with this blank canvas here, where you can see just some example prompts. In this case, I'll generate a slide. Generate a slide about Acme Logistic Services. Right, and it will fire off. And one new thing that the system now does is that it analyzes the prompt quite carefully and try to figure out what the purpose of what you're trying to do is. In this case, it also checks that, hey, you actually have a slide in the system already about this topic. So, for example, I can see a slide here. I can say, oh, okay, it kind of has this, but this is not quite what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something else. So I can click Generate New instead. Something else that's new is that you can now see a few different options for how to guide the generation. So you can decide where the information should come from. Should it be within the SlideHub library, or should we also combine web search as well? Then you can decide on the slide design. I'll pick this adjust to selected layout, which basically means that the content will sort of adjust based on the layout I pick. And as of late last night, you can now also do presentations. In this case, I said I want to have a slide, so naturally it's just a single slide, but I'm actually also able to do multiple slides and presentation here. If I like, I can also review the draft and look at the content before the slide completes. Good. Now the AI will generate the required content, looking across the library, and make sure that it's aware of what should be on the slide, and then suggest some different layouts. So you can see it suggests this should be a bullet point slide with 5 bullets. I can then pick a number of different slides instead of just one. This is also new. You can then pick different layouts. So I can say I want a flow, I want the bullet point from before, and maybe I want some numbered list here. So I'll pick 4 different slides. Cool. And a new thing you can also see here is that it now processes all the slides in the background. So if you are like me, who used to create a lot of slides, you really want to be in flow and you don't want to sit and wait for each slide to be done. If you are like me, you also like to see different versions and try to get a sense of which slide does the content justice and what works the best. So I can actually tell this one to work in the background while I do other things. You can see now it created a number of new slides while I was working to sort of support the prompt of the different services. Since this is done, I can rate it. I think this was actually fairly good. Maybe text placement could be better. Cool. All right, so that's some of the changes we've done. Another thing you can now do in the text slide is that you now have a history over here. So you can go in and you can see the previous generated slides, and you can bring them in here, or you can go to this detail view where you can see both the actual slides and the suggested slide that was found as part of this. If you're an account manager, you can also go into the statistics area here, and you'll see a list of more completed slide generation, not just for yourself, but also for other people in the account, along with ability to sort by rating and timing and search and so on. So that's a lot of the new things on the text generation front or the slide generation front. Hope you find this useful.
All right. So another thing we've done that's also AI related is that the AI SlideHub system now allows manager of the account to go in and automatically label both slides, images, and icons based on the content of those things, and then suggests or automatically add both categories, subcategories, and tags to those assets. So I'll spare you the demo on that one, but feel free to contact your customer success manager for a full demonstration. Another thing that we have released is that we've released what's called SlideHub MCP. For those of you who are not familiar with the MCP term, it's basically a way to integrate different software systems into a form of AI bot or AI agent or AI chat assistant, so that it can use that particular tool. We've done that with SlideHub now, and we put together a small video that shows you an example that's being done in Claude. Hey, I want to show you SlideHub MCP in action. In this case, I am the member of this Acme Logistic organization, a made-up company in the logistics space, and I have already connected my SlideHub account with Claude. So an example could be something like, I want to find slides about our services, and since it's connected with SlideHub, it will be aware of using SlideHub, and then we can start searching it. So you can see it shows different slides in the system. I can then click view, and it will take me to SlideHub and the slide directly. I can also download the slide if I prefer. Here. Something else I can do is also that I can generate slides from within SlideHub using the Claude interface. So I can do something like generate a new slide using this information. So it will then, try to understand what tools is available. It will find, hey, this slide generation tool from existing slides. It's actually going to use that one to generate it. It could also have created a new slide using the tool called new slide generation. It's one of these things with AI is that you give it a lot of tools, and then it tries to figure out what is the most appropriate for a given case. If you want to follow along with what it's doing behind the scenes, it started the the execution, and then it's checking up on the generation itself, and then you can see it generates this new beautiful slide. Looks like it might have overdone the icons a bit, but you can then go into the slide in here. So using the existing slide, but then updated the information based on the findings from before. In terms of connecting to SlideHub, in Claude you do this via the connectors. Depending on the AI tool you're working with, it's a little bit different. When you haven't connected in the first place, it's going to look like this. If you don't have SlideHub yet, you can go in here. You can do SlideHub MCP or any other name. Then you basically write this URL, MCP SlideHub. Click Add, and then it adds this tool. Then when you're here, if you click Connect, it basically takes you to your SlideHub account, and then it asks for permission to use your access to using the different tools. This is also where you can see the different tools that are available in the MCP. We are, planning on making continued improvements and extensions of what's possible in here, but this is basically how it works. Thanks.
Very cool. So hopefully my sound is better here than in the video. So of course, apologize for the quality of those. As Chris mentioned in the chat, we'll send over a video with better sound after the call. I also sent a link in the chat now that have a more generalized guide on how to connect SlideHub to different sort of AI tools. And as I mentioned towards the end of the video, we are sort of on a continuous basis expanding and improving upon the MCP integration so that you can do more creative things sort of over time as the tool expands. All right. Another thing that's sort of a little bit in the same category of functionality is that we have sort of finalized and published our first public API. And the idea with the API is, again, a little bit similar to the MCP, but that you can basically integrate your own tools and software stack more closely with SlideHub if you are an enterprise customer. We have a rich documentation that's available here, where you can go in and you can read about every specific integration endpoint and so forth. We are sort of continually expanding the number of ways to integrate this, and would be more than happy to connect with you directly and discuss, how we can expand the API more and help you sort of get a good experience with the API. One of the things we just finalized as of late last night, and if you're wondering why I might seem a bit tired on that video, then that's the reason. The API now allows you to generate presentations through sort of the combination of the text to slide with the API for full presentations. You can read more about that here in the documents as well. Another thing we released here in Q1 is that we now have on-brand email signatures included with all plans for all existing customers and all new customers. The thing about SlideHub is that we kind of already had a lot of the components required to build an email signature. We already had a Outlook extension. We already had, of course, use logins. We had personal placeholders. So basically, had all the key components there. So in early Q1, we kind of pulled all that together and built this email signature feature. During the quarter, we also expanded the functionality quite a bit. So now you can have different templates or different signature templates for different parts of the organization. You can design them as you like and customize them over time. So if this is interesting for you, feel free to reach out to your customer success manager or sales contact, and then we're happy to give you a demonstration and help you set everything up. Another thing, definitely in the more enterprisey part of our sort of product updates, is that we now have sort of a rich ordered log functionality targeted enterprise customers. The idea is that you, within the ordered logs, you can get a sort of rich understanding of who is making what changes to SlideHub.
in particular to the user permissions and settings and so on. So you can follow along and make sure that nobody does anything they shouldn't do. Cool. Those were the main updates. We have a few more sort of in the back that Rune will show you in a minute, but before we get to those, we have another poll sort of prepared for you.
Yeah, exactly. So which feature are you most excited about? I think as well, Anders, there's a few questions, and let's just take them while things are still new. So I think the first one we just got now is around the email signatures. Oh, I think your screen is here. There we go. Are there any templates for the email signatures?
Yes, there is a default template in there, which is just fairly like standardized corporate template with a lot of like both the support for images and for social media icons and so forth. But what we actually also provide is that for the first 50 customers that onboard the email signature, you will actually get a chance to work directly with the senior developer who built this thing, and he'll help you sort of customize the template and make sure that it matches your brand and expectations and so on. So but we take a quite handheld approach to help everybody get a good experience with the layout of the email signature.
Exactly. Then we had a very nice question as well about the brandness of the slides that are generated from the text to slide, because I think this is one of the key differentiators of our product comparing to a lot of other products out there. Can you tell a bit more about how we make sure this happens?
Yeah, so we actually we built the sort of the text generator or the AI slide generator in a way where you can take 100% control of the on-brandness of the slides. So you can either bring your own template and then use our slide designs, which gives you, the right template, but you can actually also take it a substantial step further, and you can go in and 100% define all the layouts that the AI system should use. And in that way, the system basically just uses those layouts. The same thing goes with icons and images. You can either use some of the off-the-shelf things we provide, or if you have your own icon style or your own image library, we can go in and just 100% use that. So it's really with the focus on being on brand. It's like one of the core, guiding principles we have had for building the feature.
Thank you. And then I just have two other small questions. So I think you went through how to get the MCP up and running for Claude, but we have one asking about ChatGPT and one around Copilot.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the same guide or.
Yeah. So it's in the guide. The thing is with these things is like it's a little bit similar to on your phone that you need to go through a formal approval process, and there's a lot of people who want to add apps to these things at the moment. So we are awaiting final approval both for Copilot and for Claude and for ChatGPT. So for Copilot and for all three of them, you can work around it and add SlideHub in secured form. Depending on the settings in the organizations and your admin rights on the particular tools, you can sort of work your way around the access already now. But we hope to soon get approval to be like an official, tool or MCP provider in each of these free tools. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anders. Sanne, I'll just answer your question very quickly. So it's possible, yes, to use your own template. So we will just make sure to help you get that into the system and working in the way our email signature provider works. Yes. And what do we have here? Okay, yes, we can definitely help with the support of that. That's why Rune is also here, because he is normally taking care of customers and making sure everything is a success. We have a lot of votes in, and I can see that we have a very clear winner on the which feature people are most excited about. And again, if you need help with getting your text to slides set up and functioning, then please just get hold of us. and or get hold of your customer success manager, then we will help you make sure that it works exactly how it's intended to work. So I'm just going to close this poll down, and then I'll give the word to Rune this time, if I'm not completely mistaken.
That's correct. Thanks, Christian. And I'll cover some of the additional features that Anders didn't get around to yet. And just give me 1 second here.
Can we run it through Anders' screen here? Maybe that's now it got to work. There we go.
Great, thanks. Yeah, so the first thing I want to cover is the ability to scan for similar slides. We've had this feature in quite a while, but now we added the ability to identify identical slides. And this is really great, I think, especially if you have a larger library. You scan the library and you can be certain that if it's identical, then you can just merge it and it's no regret, and then you'll have one version of the truth. If you need any help on setting this up and running it, just reach out to me or my team, and we can help you. The next one up is new types of placeholders. So we have that you can choose from a predefined list, from a drop-down list. So this could be, for example, if we have an implementation project and I need to select who is actually running the project, I can select between the project managers in my team. So if you want more control, that's a good optionality. And then also the rich text placeholders that can be combined with logging slides. So for example, if you want your end users to be able to write more content in a slide, but still want to keep it locked down, you can lock the slide and put in some rich text placeholders, house flexibility, but also keeps everything on brand and limits how far the end user can go. In terms of images, we have added the ability to add royalty-free images to your own company library. So for example, if you need some additional pictures from different industries and you don't have other images that you have taken as a company, you can basically do that with one click directly through the library and add it to your own company library. And then we have added the ability to group related slides. So if you have things that are very similar, you can group those together. This is also very helpful if you're an admin and you, for example, have multiple languages of the same slides. Take it away. And then if some of these features that we're mentioning today, there are some small previews already done by Anders. So if you're really interested in staying up to speed, you have the ability to go into our Headaway app directly in the app. It's a small bell icon at the bottom, or you can read the SlideHub blog as well, where we continuously update with all of these features.
Great. Thanks a ton for that, Rune. I really appreciate you taking some of these ones. For all of you who ever done these webinars, going more or less monologuing for 40 minutes is like kind of takes a big toll on you. So I really appreciate sort of taking over some of those. Great. So now we looked at what we already built and what's sort of out there in the wild now. What I want to go through now is and sort of a roadmap overview of the coming months, and also highlight two particular features that we're sort of quite excited about that we want to give you a little bit of a sneak peek into. So as you can see, we've done a lot of things. A lot of them we already presented to you. That's all the one that part has done. Then there's these two pink ones I'll focus on next. But sort of besides that, one area we have going at the moment is that we're doing like a revamp of the entire manager interface. So those of you who already our SlideHub customers and manages the assets. We try to do an overhaul there to add like a number of different improvements, including something as increasing a little bit more the visual space, but also some new functionality as like saving filters and using the different filtering options in different ways and so on. So there's a lot of small tweaks there where we're trying to encapsulate a lot of the feedback we have received over time on that part of the application. Then we're going to continue the actual core slide generation. When it comes to generating slides, it's almost like it's a unending way. You can always kind of get better. It's almost like, being a designer yourself. There's always ways you can find to make it even better. So we're investing a lot of time in improving the quality of the slide that comes out. It's something we're gonna probably never really stop, but it is something that we're also gonna do in the coming months. Then we're gonna introduce a concept called presentation formulas. And this is something I think that's a little bit unique. The idea is that if a user, for example, says, build me a proposal, then instead of relying on sort of more generic AI to determine what a proposal should contain, then you can go into SlideHub and then you can like specify for certain types of presentation, how should that actually look like? And that can be both a matter of like the visuals in terms of what slide to use, but it can also be in terms of the content and what to focus on and certain slides that needs to be used and so forth. So you can kind of put this like formula or recipe in place that automatically gets pulled into the slide generation, so that if you are managing a particular account, you can kind of like streamline some of these otherwise like fairly sort of generic or repetitive type of presentations. So that's something we're quite excited about. Then there's a few other things, but those are the things that can come more sort of the soonest. If we take a deep dive into some of the things we highlighted here, then the first one is something we're calling send and track. And the idea here is that to allow the builders or users of presentation to send or to generate a link that can be shared with the sort of the reader of the presentation. So it's a little bit like the way you do it, like something like WeTransfer or something like that. But unlike WeTransfer, we sort of built a sort of dedicated like microsite or landing experience for the user who receives the link. So the idea is that for the receivers of the link, it's a matter of building like a nice experience where you don't need to download a presentation, but where you can go in and you can see all the slides, whether you're on your phone or on your laptop. You don't need to download like a 50 megabyte file or something. You also get all like different files in one view, and then besides that, you also you get the contact information, who's created the link and so on. You can share it with other people without sending around massive files. For the people who create the link, the unlock here is that besides the fact that you can combine a lot of files into one link, it's also the fact you actually give insights into like if anybody's actually clicking and using the link. So it's something we're quite excited about, because it's not only going to give you like high level usage on a presentation level, but it's also going to give you like slide level insights in terms of which slides are being watched, which ones are not. With anything that has to come with tracking, of course, there's the option to turn off tracking, and there's notifications for the user that they are being tracked, and all the different GDPR requirements is of course something that we think a lot about in this regard. I made a video about this, but given the video quality and the audio quality of the last one, I think we'll better off sending you a new one once this one is done. But we're really excited about this one, and if you want to influence how the final version of this going to look like, please feel free to reach out, and we can give you a more detailed walkthrough, and you can share your thoughts and insights. That's something we really look forward ourselves to start using this feature. So I can't remember how many times Christian has asked me when this is done, but it will take a few more weeks, Christian, and then you'll get it too. Yeah, so this is the Send and Track, a big effort. Hopefully we'll get it out in the middle of May, as things are looking right now. Another thing that we're quite excited about is that something we call data tables, which is like a surprisingly generic name, but something I think that can be really powerful for a lot of our clients. The idea is to combine the placeholder functionality of SlideHub with a sort of structured data set in the system. So some examples of how this can be powerful is that, for example, if you're preparing a team slide for a project, for example, you can have a team template in the SlideHub system. And then when a user wants to use that template, they'll be prompted to say who from your team should be in the template. Can then pick those people, and then automatically the team slide will populate with the names and roles and descriptions and all those different things into the slide. The cool thing is also then that, you might have one team template that has 4 people in it, but then you might have another template that just has that has 2 people in it, and you can pull the same data in to different layouts in different ways to help your end user customize your presentations, all sorts of cool ways. Another sort of very common use case for this is credentials or tombstones for M&A advisors or headhunters or whoever sort of works with that terminology. So it's something that we're again really excited about using ourselves for how we prepare for our client demos and how we do our QBRs and so on. So also something we really look forward to getting live. We're also hoping for a mid-May release for this one. But if you're more interested, feel free to reach out, and we're happy to kind of discuss how you might actually already start now preparing your layouts or your data for this feature. And just to answer the question that comes in, you can also pull data from Excel. There's going to be an import of Excel as sort of in the initial version as well. Yeah.
I think there might just have been another question as well. So I'm going to start a poll, and then I think we'll just go back to that one. So we're kind of planning on doing a few more webinars. Let me just go back here to myself. So we would like to maybe dive into the MCP or use cases for the API, or maybe how to like the foundations that needs to be in place for getting text to slide to actually build on brand slides every single time. So we were just thinking if there's one of these that you would like to have a more in-depth session on, and then there's only one choice. So please, the one you think is the most important, and maybe we'll do more than one if we can see there's a lot of interest in it. But just going back to the question, I think the question was around the integration with the Microsoft SharePoint and OneDrive, and I assume it's for the Send and Track, so that when you have documents and presentations there, that you can pull them directly from there and send it. Anders, have we thought about this, and how does that look like?
For Send and Track, the initial idea is not to have the Send and Track feature interact directly with SharePoint as such. The new things we do have on the roadmap for SharePoint and Box integrations is more if you already have an extensive library somewhere on SharePoint, a Box, or Google Drive, or a similar system, to be able to synchronize the presentation sort of across SlideHub and a particular data storage as a way to either get started with SlideHub or to have like a parallel universes to satisfy IT or people that might not have SlideHub access, God forbid, and so forth. So those are the particular things. In terms of other integration with the Send and Track, some of the things we are looking into at the moment is also very CRM system related, where we're trying to design what are the right ways to combine like the Send and Track experience if you are a HubSpot user or a Salesforce user or use another CRM system. How can we make those two be very like smooth and like painless and simple experience for the people operating in those systems? That's like a bigger focus.
Thank you, Anders. While the poll is running here in the background, there was like one thing that I just wanted to ask people about. So we are trying to collect reviews on G2 because a lot of people use those when they are looking for new software, and we are doing quite well. So I think we're the best rated in the presentation management category, but the more the merrier, I would say. And if you have had a good experience working with SlideHub, we would really appreciate a review. It's something that that matters a lot, and we celebrate it every single time that someone adds a review in there. So you will make the 50 people of SlideHub very happy if you go do that for us. Yes. Anyways, while that is running, we had another question here. So it's around Word. Would you also be able to upload your Word documents to SlideHub?
Yeah. So while given our name being SlideHub, and we have call ourselves a presentation management system, we do actually have a quite meaningful support for Word as well. So a lot of our automation functionality is also supported in Word, and a lot of the core libraries and the ability to pull in images and icons and text snippets and so on is a quite rich sort of in Word as well. So if that's something you're considering, we would be happy to do a presentation of that functionality as well. It is not as rich as the PowerPoint side, but a lot of the core functionality is available.
Exactly. But I think that's kind of it. If you have another question, we can just let the webinar run for a few minutes more, and then just pop them into the audience chat. I think there might were a question from before today. Let me just see if I can find that. Maybe I have a question for you, Anders, while we're just waiting.
That's always the hardest one.
Sorry about that. So if you have a GPT that you built yourself, is that possible to integrate against the MCP setup that we have?
Yeah, so if you build your own like custom AI model, or if you're using a lot of times what people will be doing if they use something like the Azure cloud to build out their own, host their own models, and then it is very much a possibility to then integrate those with the MCP as well. The only thing is that for security purposes, we need to know where it's hosted. So it needs to be like on the public internet with a URL, because then we can allow list that domain as something where the SlideHub MCP can be used. So if you are in that situation, then just have your IT team reach out to us, and we can kind of help them get started.
Yeah. In general, if you have questions to anything we've gone through today, or there's something that you would like to try out, or just reach out to us. We are here for the same reason. So we want to help you achieve a lot of value with SlideHub. But I think that's it for today then. Then I'll give you 2 minutes back to your day, so before the next meeting is coming up. Thank you so much for taking part, and thank you, Anders, and thank you, Rune, for presenting the new products and the roadmap coming up.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, have a nice day. Bye-bye.